Good afternoon, folks. This is Jay from the Cold Takes podcast. And today, to start season 2, we have a very special guest, none other than CozyFeji. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, doing great. The day has been pretty chill today. I didn't really do too much, just working on video ideas and excited to be the first. I feel honored to be the first guest on the second season. So thank you so much for having me.
Good deal. Good deal. It's a pleasure to have you on. So, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what you do on your channel and kind of the things you cover and the things you like to play?
Yeah, well, again, my name's Fedro. My YouTube channel is CozyFeji. And for me, my YouTube channel, I just cover JRPGs, Let's Plays, and cozy gaming. For me, my YouTube channel was kind of like a little project for me. I kind of just recently left my corporate job and I was kind of bored with job hunting. It can be very depressing at times, getting rejection letter after rejection letter. So I decided, you know what? This YouTube channel has been on my mind for years, and video games has been a new hobby of mine that I've picked up over the years, and I wanted to share my new experiences with new games, also sharing my love for games as well. So yeah, that's me.
So, listeners, definitely you're going to want to check her channel out for a couple of reasons. Obviously, she makes great content, but as someone who covers cozy games, the thing I like best about Feji is that she's actually cozy about it. She's actually chill about it. There's a lot of people that will, say they're covering cozy games and then they look all uptight and they're like trying to be very, like almost like professional, like they're like a news reporter up in front of a camera. And I can remember one of the coolest moments in any of her videos. She's talking about like what cozy games mean to her, and she's literally doing it like sitting on her bed. And that is what cozy gaming is about. It's about
Great.
being chill and being able to get into games at any time and to really use them as like a therapeutic thing. And you can't do that sitting in front of the computer all like rigid and uptight, worried about what everyone's going to say or think. So it's definitely genuine, and she makes great videos. And you've been doing a pretty big playthrough recently, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing the Trails in the Sky. This is going to be a very long, probably a year long project. I've been playing every single game in the Trails series. I've heard about it for years now, and I've kind of intimidated to go into because a lot of people say it's a pretty long story. It covers a huge amount of games. You have to have a good time commitment. It's like, you know what? Why not kick off the channel? Why by playing this cool JRPG series, and I'm having a great time. I kind of filmed chunks at a time, so I kind of took a break from it because I didn't want to get burnt out from it. So, but I'm having a great time, and I'm excited to see where the story and the characters go from there.
Awesome. All right. So the first topic I have for us tonight is kind of going over some of your earliest gaming memories, maybe from like your childhood or your teenage years. So what are some like real cool things that you can remember from those times?
Yeah, I feel like for me, my first actually encounter and experience with gaming was a Nintendo 64. I remember going to my cousin's house and playing that plug to my finding love for gaming video. But yeah, I went to my cousin's house and we had Mario Kart 64 and I think it was Super Mario 64. And having that first experience with those games was honestly really new to me because at the time, I don't know, I was really young, like a child, like baby. I don't know, 4 or 5 years old at the time, and having that kind of experience with gaming felt like I was engaging or being part of a cartoon in a sense, and being able to control the characters and be competitive with my siblings and cousins was a lot of fun. And I really cherish those times going over to my cousin's house. And it was always a sad part leaving. It's like, damn, we don't have that at home. So I'd always milk up and literally hog the controller. It's like, I know I can't be able to play this at home. So I had to take up the opportunity. And it was really a spark and joy that I never knew it had or could really experience before. So I had a really great time. And as we got older, me and my brother, we had a variety of consoles. We had the Wii, the GameCube, PlayStation 1, PS2. I was more of a backseat gamer. My brother did most of the gaming, and I enjoyed watching him play. To me, it was kind of like a TV series where I'd watch parts of an episode and or gameplay of him playing. I don't know, Sly Cooper, and just chilling on the backseat with my snacks. And I enjoyed doing that. But then as I got older, I kind of decided, you know what? I think I can take take the reins for myself, and I had like a DS Lite and cherished that thing. Well, I didn't treat it enough because I lost it, but I loved the time that I played with it. But yeah, I just really, those are like the early memories I remember having with gaming.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was definitely a great time. I'm probably a little bit older, so I started back more in like the NES days, but I can remember being one of the first kids in the neighborhood to get an N64, and at my birthday party, having like all the kids come over just literally to watch me play like Mario 64 because it was such a big deal back then.
Yeah,
So those are
3D
definitely
graphics
some.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, still to this day, like if you play it on the original hardware or you play the one that was on the DS, it's still one of the most fun and engaging games you can play. So
Truly.
it's definitely good. So obviously, as the queen of cozy games, you must have quite a list of incredible cozy games to share with the listeners. So my next question would be, maybe what are, say, your top 5 cozy games that you enjoyed the most out of all of the ones you've experienced?
Top five. Okay. Definitely Animal Crossing, New Horizons. That was a game that like brought me back into gaming. It came at a perfect time for like many of us during quarantine where we had no like sense of normalcy. And at that time, I was on my last semester of college, applying to jobs and all that jazz. And having Animal Crossing New Horizons there was literally the most therapeutic. I don't know, it was a safe space for me at that time. And since then, I've probably clocked in over 1,600 hours, which is an unhealthy amount,
Wow.
but it's definitely my comfort game for sure. What else? I would definitely say Stardew Valley. I think that's a pretty common. Everyone loves a good Stardew Valley, as well as kind of a, I don't know if people would consider this, but I kind of consider Breath of the Wild a cozy game.
Yeah,
I
I can
feel
see
like
that.
you can definitely spend like some times just like exploring the world, unlocking shrines, unlocking towers, riding on a horse, and just meet attacking monsters if you can. But it's definitely you can take it at your own pace. And I tend to find myself on my bed just with a nice drink, playing my Breath of the Wild, and I definitely think that's definitely one of my top cozy games. And then definitely the Rune Factory series. The Rune Factory series is definitely one of my favorites that I can just like again spend a like quick session of like 30 minutes and then just play whether I go in like to a dungeon or a shrine or a dungeon or a shrine or a dungeon, and then also just find my spouse. So yeah, those are definitely one of my like my top cozy games for sure.
All right. So my next question, kind of related to that, what was the first cozy game that you actually stumbled upon that really got you into it? Was it Animal Crossing?
I actually I think it would be Nintendogs. Nintendogs on my DS. That was definitely my first cozy game without me even knowing it was cozy gaming related, but definitely yes. Love it. Oh, I love it. So cute. I remember I still had the exact cartridge that I played when I was really young. Unfortunately, I don't have the DS Lite, but I definitely had the game. I had a dog named Daisy that I would literally, oh my gosh, she's like my baby. And I remember my parents would always make fun of me, like, oh my God, there she goes again, playing Daisy all the time. Daisy. But that was definitely my first instance of memory of cozy gaming. I could spend hours upon hours just like walking my dogs, playing games, and especially me and my family, they didn't really like having pets around the house. So that was my literally my babies there. So definitely Nintendogs, a classic that will I wish that would be poured onto the Switch. I would love to have Nintendogs on the Switch.
I absolutely agree. I made like a series of PSAs like beckoning Nintendo to do that. They absolutely need to. I can say, thinking back, my first experience with cozy gaming was definitely like the original Animal Crossing, like
Yes.
on like the GameCube. And like realistically, I can't remember there being games like that before. Like maybe there was, and I just didn't play them, but I
Mm,
just remember like the combination of like the music and doing basic tasks like going around digging
yeah.
for fossils and developing your relationships with the villagers and then decorating your house. And I don't know if you remember, they had that card reader and you could play different arcade and Nintendo games on it. And like there was
Hmm.
so much to do in one game. When
Right.
before that, I was kind of used to games that were like Nintendo hard or like fighting games like Street Fighter, like things that were kind of
Right.
tense. that would kind of get you like wound up. And to think that there was
Mhm.
a game that you could sit back and just be like zen with. Like I wasn't zen
Right.
with Street Fighter 2. Like when I would like lose to one of my friends, I would like huck the controller. Um,
Right.
when you die over and over again in like a Metroid, you're like pissed off. Like you're
Yeah,
not.
you're just ready to punch a wall.
Yeah, exactly. I can only imagine like the death toll of controllers, for games yearly because of things like Dark Souls and Elden Ring.
Right.
And it's just cool to have these kind of games that we can go to. Um, so I definitely think it's a super good thing for the gaming industry. Not only
Mhm.
because it brings people that may not have previously played games into the fold,
Right.
but also for someone that from time to time can be a hardcore gamer. It's nice to do that instead of go crazy trying to trophy hunt or beat something on like the hardest difficulty.
For
So
sure.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was having this discussion with my brother the other day. Like we like having a like especially after a really long work day, the last thing that I want to do is just like go on like a Metroid game and just like hack away or just do a hack and slash. Or like sometimes I just want to like unwind because I've already had a hectic day dealing with a lot of BS, whether it be by clients or coworkers. Sometimes I just want to unwind. And there's a really precious thing about the mundanity of games like Animal Crossing. Like sometimes you don't have the ability or the opportunity to just sit back, have those connections or relationships with your villagers or whatnot. I do appreciate that cozy gaming allows a space for people to just take a step back from the hectic and craziness that is, whether it be work or school or any extracurricular that you're doing. Just have that space with yourself in that game is something that we should really give ourselves the opportunity because I feel like we're also about this like hustle, hustle, hustle culture and like constantly grinding to do everything. And like cozy gaming is my zen, my peace place, my time to just be alone with myself in the game, which I think is really important.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because I think a lot of times the atmosphere, even in the gaming community, can be kind of severe and like tense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people want to have these like intense, hot debates about different games, and if you don't do this, you're not a real gamer. If you don't have this skill, it gets kind of
Right.
old. So being able to just enjoy something like that at your own pace is a huge deal. Like I know recently, I've been streaming a little bit of like Coral Island. And that
Mm-hmm.
was a really cool take on kind of the formula that like Harvest Moon and
Right.
Stardew Valley had kind of gone with, and I really enjoyed it. It was really nice to just like have it on this like island setting with this awesome music and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things to do, but it felt familiar because it followed that same formula. Um,
Right.
so that's when I get excited whenever I see like a new like farming sim or a new like Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons type of game. It always makes me excited. So that's really cool. So let's see what we got next up on the agenda. I actually think we're going to take this one next. This one's a really good one, and I know you said you had some good thoughts on this. So we've had a lot of people in the gaming community, whether it's in YouTube videos or whether it's on Twitter or talking about it during their Twitch streams, saying that cozy games, because they don't necessarily represent the same challenge skill wise or the same time investment, they're trying to say that cozy games aren't truly video games and people that play them aren't truly gamers. Now, I know that I think that's a complete bullshit take,
Yeah.
but I would like to hear your thoughts on it because I'm pretty sure you got some pretty strong opinions on it.
I feel like it's kind of rooted in a kind of sexist way. I feel like a lot of people, like from what I've noticed, especially with the rise of cozy gaming in the past couple of years, what you do notice a major demographic of cozy gamers are for females or femme presenting people. And I feel like because those women are taking up space in a gaming industry or gaming community that's been predominantly by men for a long time, a lot of them are like, oh, I don't really appreciate you coming in thinking that you're a gamer when you haven't had this history or this background with it. And I think it's just also just shaming people when they're just not harming anyone. I think cozy gaming allows people to, again, like I mentioned before, to have that safe space and to be a part of a community where they maybe not more able to. Like 3 years ago, meet me in 2018, if you were asked me, oh yeah, I'm gonna like start doing cozy gaming, I would have like, I don't think I'm gonna do gaming, because gaming was either not like, or like I don't know, advertised towards like women like me, or just like in general, it wasn't like a thing that I knew other people around me that were playing. And I think it's I honestly just think it's just BS that people would want to shy away from people the opportunity to play games. And the more the people that are playing these games, whether they're cozy or not, allows more people, the companies, to see that, oh wait, this is actually something that's picking up traction. People are actually gaining interest in it, and it allows other developers or companies to not also create those games, but I don't know, like I would say flip the script on it. Like Coral Island is a great example of how like it kind of switches things up with the Stardew Valley Harvest Moon aspect, and it brings in people who would be like, I don't know if I would actually play it, but maybe I'll dabble into it, and then before you know it, go into other genres. Like that was my experience. I started off with Animal Crossing, didn't think I was going to play many other games, but I had a lot of fun. I was like, I had this console, I might as well dabble and see what what else is out there for me. And 3 years later, I have a plethora of games, a lot of consoles, and I'm having a great time. And I don't think robbing someone from that opportunity just because, oh, they're not quote unquote an actual gamer isn't fair. Isn't fair at all.
I completely agree. I think that as someone, like, I don't just do YouTube, like I've always voraciously consumed it. Like, it's funny, a
Mm-hmm.
couple content creators I've talked to, I'm like, so who do you watch on YouTube? They're like, I don't really watch YouTube. I'm like, what? Like, I literally do this in my spare time. Like, when I'm not playing a game, I'm watching YouTube. That's how I've met
Right.
all of the wonderful guests I've had on the show. And then I reach out to them and find out they're awesome people. But here's the thing: if it wasn't for the Wii bringing in different ages and groups of gamers,
Right.
if it wasn't for things like Cozy Gaming bringing in different groups of gamers, this atmosphere on YouTube would not be as diverse. And it would
Yeah.
be a less enriching and interesting experience if I watched the same type of person talk about the same
Mm-hmm.
thing all the time. It would become boring if every channel I flipped to was some dude in his 20s talking about some action game, and that's it. Like,
Right.
it's awesome to, yes, I can watch a video about action games, but then I can watch you talk about cozy gaming, or I can watch Emily talk about JRPGs, or
Mm-hmm.
tune into someone like Brandon to see his awesome game collection. Like, it makes
Right.
a variety of people. And I think anything that contributes to that is good for the community, no matter how it makes the ego of the dude bros feel. Like,
Right.
they don't matter, because think about something like the Switch. The Switch may not have been as successful as it was if it wasn't for cozy gaming and puzzle gaming, visual
Mm-hmm.
novels, JRPGs. So even though those might not be the games that Chad likes, they're what's made the Switch great. And I
Exactly.
really think that it's enriched all of us at the same time and given a lot of us a chance to get into content creation. You know, if you
Mm-hmm.
asked me a year ago if I was going to be on YouTube interviewing other content creators, I'd be like, there's no way. I just watch YouTube. Like, and it's made like a passion that I really enjoy. And then getting into streaming, and I stream kind of like alternative games, whether it's like retro JRPGs or cozy things. I'm not streaming Elden Ring. I'm not streaming Call of Duty. I liked Elden Ring, but
Mm-hmm.
no one needs to see me like throwing a controller around the room and screaming. Like, that's not really entertainment. But I think it is entertainment when you can sit back and watch someone stream and they can have like a casual, fun conversation with the crowd that's watching them. Whether that's in
Right.
YouTube comments or whether it's live on Twitch, I really think it makes for a better landscape. So, with
Yeah.
that being said, I think we're going to go take a break. And when we come back, we have a lot more with CozyFeji. All right.
So picture this. You finally ended a long work day or school day. It's 5 o'clock and all you want to do is unwind and immerse yourself in your favorite comfort cozy game. You have your drink of choice and your favorite snack, and you're ready to immerse yourself in a comfy, cozy game. This, to me, is peak cozy gaming vibes. This is CozyFeji, and on this channel we cover a variety of things such as Let's Plays, JRPGs, and all things cozy gaming.
And welcome back, folks. This is Jay from Cold Takes, and I am once again here with Feji for the second half of the show. So we've got some great topics to go over, and I think we're gonna have a good time. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So the next thing I want to talk about, of course, is video game collecting. And I'm sure you've got a pretty good collection going, Feji. What do you got going on over there?
Oh my God, I've got too much. It's like my wallet is like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Like, I need to be fed, not be starving. My collection has grown a lot over the years. I kind of a part of it was just kind of making up for lost time since I kind of got back into gaming again in my 20s, and I kind of like there was a huge gap from like my teenage years to like early 20s where I wasn't playing really anything. It's like, you know what? I have money now. I have adult money. Let's go buy all the things I didn't get to play when I was younger. So like I've amassed a good amount of things and it's always ever growing. So when it comes to like my consoles or collections, as it's standing right now, I have 2 Switches. I have a 2DS, a 2DX XL, 3DS XL. I'm gonna wrap it around my head. What else do I have? I have a DSi XL, and then I upgraded my PS4 to a PS5, and then I think that is all that I have. And then of course I have PC gaming through Steam, and that's pretty much it in terms of like consoles. My collection, I have like a little rolling cart as of right now because I'm hoping to contain it to that rolling cart. Knowing me and my bad habits, it's probably going to turn into a bookshelf eventually. But I have like one like tier dedicated to Switch games, another tier dedicated to PS4 and PS5 games, and then the last one is DS and 3DS games. Again, like making up for lost time. I've just been like playing a lot of like right now I'm in a like JRPG mood. I mean, when am I not in JRPG mood? But as of right now, I just like been collecting a lot of those. I recently got Atelier Ryza 3 to complete that collection, which is really nice. And yeah, I'm just again looking at other things that I haven't played for. I'm just going back to as well. Like me and my brother, we kind of trade off consoles as well. Like he has a PS2 at home, and I would sometimes like, hey, if you come by, can you drop it off so we can play like some of our old games? Like, I definitely really want to replay our Sly Cooper series. That's probably one of my favorite video game series of all time. I just loved the whole like I think just the storytelling of that game, and the characters in that were really, really great, and the puzzles. Loved that game. But yeah, my collection is ever growing. I'm like contemplating about getting a Game Boy Advance, even though I know I don't need it, and with the whole Nintendo Switch Online having Game Boy Advance games coming, it's like, do I want to be wise with my money or do I want to be happy? It's kind of a toss-up, you know? So yeah, that's kind of like where my collection stands as of right now.
So do you do a lot of digital gaming too? Like, do you download a lot of stuff off the eShop?
So when it comes to digital gaming, I just love having physical copies. So if I could get the physical copy, I'd rather get it. But if it's like either one, way too expensive to buy it physically, or they just never came out with a physical version, I probably would. My digital like library, it's pretty small, to be honest. Most of my games are really just my physical ones. I would say I have maybe a total of like 10 or 15, maybe 10 to 15. What am I talking? 20. I'd say 20. I'll give it there. 20 digital games, but majority of it, I'd say it's like 90-10. 90% would be physical and 10% would be digital games.
Well, I
Not that I'm
definitely
opposed to it.
I think a lot of our viewers would definitely appreciate that. I think most of them are pretty hardcore collectors. I know me myself. I usually will only buy digital if it's only available that way. Like if it's a smaller game that I want to play, or if for some reason it's something I didn't have enough interest in to buy physically at full price, and suddenly it's like on a crazy discount on the shop. And I will say I've been guilty of a couple of times when something's so deeply discounted, I might have it right on the shelf, and I'm like, but that's only $5, and I'll never have to put the card in again. And I have done that a couple of times, like out of like laziness. But I absolutely adore the Switch, and that's where like my collecting is kind of moved to. Before, I
Mhm.
was like a vehement opposer of the Switch. I was one of those people that was like, oh, it's weak, blah, 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 it's no good. And then I got
No,
my
I could
PS5
testify.
and I liked my PS5 for like 2 or 3 months. And then I was like, wait, this thing sucks. I was like, there's no games for it. And sure, it's got the loudest, prettiest motor in it, but there's nothing being developed for it. And forget Microsoft. I've literally had nothing to do with them ever. Like my son plays Xbox, whatever, have fun with that.
Yeah,
Nothing to do with it. But
I feel you. Xbox has never been a thing in my family ever. Like we've never had an Xbox console because like with the Xbox, it's like the games are already on other platforms. I most likely would either play it on my Switch or my PlayStation. Like I'd rather play it on there than Xbox. And I feel like they're kind of shifting more to cloud and like their Game Pass situation. And I get it. It makes sense, but I'd prefer it on the other platforms. And I also agree with you. I was kind of like hesitant about the Switch for a while because I remember when it came out, I thought, oh my God, is it going to be like another Wii U? Yada, yada. Because the whole hybrid concept kind of like, I mean, it was very new to everyone. So it's just like, oh, I don't know how gimmicky this is going to be. But now having it, it truly is a revolutionary console that honestly, it's a really good, like, it's a good console that anyone and their grandma, literally, their grandmas can play it. And it's great. Love the Switch.
yeah, and we have like a grotesque amount of them in the house too. Like we have
Yeah.
like maybe 3 Switch lights because my wife has one, I have one, my son has one. I think there's a broken one in the cupboard that he broke. And then we got 2 OG Switches. The first one we
Right.
had, and then I had to have the Animal Crossing one because it's fucking adorable.
Oh, it's so cute.
And yeah, I did not buy an OLED though. I play on my Animal Crossing Switch and I love it.
The OLED's really, really nice. I was like, I don't need it, but like having played it, and I think my first game that I played on it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh my God, it's stunning. It really is stunning. Not me pushing you, buy an OLED. But it's really great. But I know there's still rumors about the Switch 2, the ever growing and always constant rumors, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that because like I'm now in the camp that's opposite of what I used to be. I say that the Switch is fine the way it is. I
Hmm.
just played, this year games like Engage. I put 100 hours into that and adored it. I adored Cereza. I adored tons of stuff. And like I
Hmm.
had not played the prior Atelier Ryza game, so my Ryza experience with this year, I've been playing the first one. I
Hmm.
did buy the third one so I could have it because I didn't want like a Metroid thing to happen where like it wasn't available for a couple of months. So I did pick it up, but then
Yeah.
a couple of my friends are like, "You can't play that until you play the first two. Like, don't." I'm like, "But it says it has a recap on it." They're like, "Don't." So I was like, "Okay, I'll start with the first one," and I've fallen in love with it. I adore it. It's really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I honestly like the PlayStation 5 gathers dust. It literally, I don't think I've turned it on in 3 months. Like it's really bad.
Yeah. I feel yeah. It's like the Switch is definitely my home, but I'm trying to be better at like rotating through my consoles because like it's a better way to like get through my backlog and then also give some love to my other consoles rather not collecting dust. So like yeah, rotating through them is definitely because I think last year all the games that I played were majority on my Switch. Showed it a lot of love. So it's like, okay, we need to get better at I mean, I have all these consoles for a reason. I need to play them.
Nice. All right. So that was pretty cool. I think we're in agreement on a lot of those points. So the next thing I kind of want to go into is what you've been playing recently. So let's say this year, what has your gaming been like? What games have you played? What games have you completed? And then also, what games are you looking forward to either digging into your backlog for or that are coming out later this year?
Right. That's a good question. Funny you asked me that because I'm actually planning a video of what I played in the winter season. But the past year so far that I played, I started off the year. I finished off Persona 5 Royal, and that was a very heavy game. I love it. I actually watched Let's Plays of it before, and then I finally got onto the Switch and was like, okay, it's my time to play it. I played that. And then I went to play after that. I played the Noner Games, which is a visual novel horror kind of vibe game. Loved that. Like the lore, the characters, and the many different routes was a lot of fun. Um, After that, I played Engage, and I didn't really like it that much. I know. I felt like for me when it comes to Engage, like we can all like agree that the gameplay is amazing. It's fantastic. I just did not care too much for these characters or stories. I wish that they would have a better heavy medium, because I know there's either people from the camper love Three Houses or love Engage. I'm more of the sense that I kind of want like a happy medium where I can get a good story and good combat. If we can get that, intelligent systems can do that, I will love it. I will probably play it once. I may go back to it, not sure, but I'm glad that I have it in my collection. Played that, and then after that I played Conquest, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, to like compare the two. I feel like they have a very similar kind of vibe to me, in a sense that it was definitely combat driven for both games. Story was a little lacking, but I still enjoyed my time with it. And then after that, what else did I play? I played a little bit, or now actually I started off playing Breath of the Wild and Kenna Bridge Spirits. Those are the current games that are currently playing on tandem right now. I love Breath of the Wild right now. It's a great game. I actually gifted that game that I have for my brother for Christmas like 2 years ago, and it took him a whole year to play that. I was like, hey, any day now. I'd really love to play it myself. So I finally got it, and I'm really loving my time with it. And then I'm also playing Kenna Bridge of Spirits on my PS5. It's like an indie game that came out, I think, in 2021. And it's literally like you're playing a Pixar game. It's probably one of the most stunning games I've played in like a really long time, like ever, really. And it kind of has similar vibes. And I think they get inspiration from older Zelda games. And I can definitely see that in the gameplay. And yeah, those are the games that I'm currently playing. As for what I'm looking forward to, ooh, there's so many games that are coming out this year. There's too many. I would have to say definitely one I'm looking forward to. I don't know if many people know about this game. It's called Chef RPG. It's from the person who's creating it's one person that's creating it, and he used to be a architectural designer. And during like the pandemic, he's like, you know what? I have all this free time. Why don't I make a game? And so I've been like, he has a YouTube channel, and you just literally just follow him on his like years of the progress of the game and why he chose to like do certain things and have character development and how he lays out pretty much the whole game. It's been really, really cool, and I'm really excited to find out when that game comes out. Coral Island, I'm excited for that to fully be out on its own, as well as Final Fantasy 16. I'm looking forward to that one as well. And then the new story seasons, or at least the remake that's coming out later this year as well. So those are my games.
Yeah, a lot of those sound great. And that RPG you were talking about, that's a really interesting concept. I want to say it was last year or the year before. There was a lawyer that did the same thing. He made like an RPG visual novel that like dealt heavily in like law stuff, and like all the magic followed certain laws, and the combat. It was pretty interesting. I didn't play it, but I had heard about it. But that's definitely something I want to check out. It's interesting to see people developing games that aren't normally from that sphere, because they definitely have a different outlook on design and storytelling than your like average game dev that's doing this all the time. So it definitely makes it pretty neat. I'm kind of cautiously optimistic on 16. We'll see what happens with that. Tears of the Kingdom, I'm super excited for. I was not a huge fan. I was not a huge fan of Breath of the Wild. So I guess like you have your Engage, I got my Breath of the Wild. I did love Age of Calamity though, because I'm a huge Dynasty Warriors person. So Hyrule Warriors Definitive I loved. Age of Calamity I loved because I love the story from Breath of the Wild. And I love the tragedy of that story. And when you really get into it, like exploring it deeper, all of the like loss that happens, and the fact that Zelda failed and like the ending isn't really happy. And it really sets up this next game tremendously. And I love some of the design choices. Like I'm obsessed with her hairdo. She looks incredible. Short-haired Zelda, like, oh my God, like
for the win.
One of those fanboys that's saying they're gonna riot if we can't play as her. Like I probably know that that's not gonna happen, or it will only be like a little section or something. But that was definitely what I enjoyed the most about those Warriors games that they made for Zelda, was playing as Zelda. But I'm excited to see that. I'm a little scared of like the aerial stuff because I did not like Skyward Sword. Loved the story, loved the characters, but just like in like an old Mario game, I don't like the air levels.
True, true.
So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, there's so much great stuff coming out, and literally like the Switch is in such like a springtime of its existence. Like there's
Yes.
things that I'll go to GameStop for, and then like I'll look at their releases, and like I want to say it's like this week, maybe even tomorrow, Advance Wars 1 and 2 has like a remaster. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's gonna be awesome. When did they announce that? Like,
Right.
because I'm not one of those people that like sits there and watches the direct and watches like every second of it. Um, so I didn't see all of the directs from last year, but that's super exciting. Another one that
Mhm.
I'm actually very excited for is that new fashion designer game they're putting out. That was
Was it?
featured in the last direct.
Oh yeah, fashion. Was it Dreamer? Fashion
Yes. Yep.
Dreamers?
Yep.
Okay,
It
yeah.
looks
It
it
giving me
looks
style
really good.
savvy vibes.
It looks really good. And like I'm one of those people, like I do like fashion and I do like clothing, and I always joke that I'm gonna make like a Cold Nights like clothing line. Like literally just the other day I was like hunting in Goodwill to see if there was anything cool, and they had like for the DS, it was like wedding dress designer. And I
Oh my
totally bought
gosh.
that for like $3, and it's
Yes.
actually kind of fun. Like, what can I say? Cold Night's wedding dresses coming to a store near you. Check the boutique.
Yes. Mark your calendars.
Yeah. Another one that I thought looked really good was the new Samba de Amigo game.
Oh
Have you seen the trailer for that?
yeah.
Like I love rhythm
I
games,
did remember seeing that
so
the direct.
that does look really good. So hopefully that will live up to kind of like the reputation that games like that and like Parappa the Rappa had. Like I love
Hmm.
those. Like I love all rhythm games, but those were special. Like they're animated and cute.
Hmm.
Whereas things like Hatsune Miku and like the Persona dancing games, like they can get pretty difficult. Like they're cool and
Yeah.
the designs are cool and stuff, but like on the hardest mode, forget it. Like you're getting smoked.
Like, okay,
Yeah,
I'll take my hat off for that.
for sure. All right. So, with that being said, we're kind of getting towards the end here. So I always like to take a few minutes and let my guests kind of go over maybe what their plans are for the future later this year, or coming up, and also to share your socials, where our folks can find you, and yeah, take it over.
Well, yeah, again, thank you so much for having me. And as for my plans, I guess I'm just continuing to grow my channel as well as just create content that I want to see and make. This has been honestly creating my YouTube channel. It's been a great creative outlet for me. I was working in sales for for a while and I could not stand it. So having this channel and being able to have my input and say on it's been really awesome. And also just talking to the community, like hanging out with people like you has been really awesome. And just being able to talk about our favorite games or what's coming up is really awesome. And giving a place to share for other people in the community to talk about what they love is awesome. And if you want to follow any of my content and cozy stuff, cozy gaming, you can check my socials at CozyFeji for Instagram, TikTok, as well as Twitter as well. So it's all under the same name, CozyFeji. Easy to find.
Good deal. And your YouTube's under the same handle as well.
Yep, CozyFeji.
Good deal. All right. Well, I certainly thank you for coming on, Feji. It's been a great show. I'm sure our listeners appreciate it, and I'm sure they'll be checking you out. You guys better, because she's awesome. And
Yeah.
as always, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to Feji's channel. And as always, stay creepy.